tomb again and again every year. Roll up your sleeves. He's not coming back, you know. He's not coming back unless it is we who rise him. We who lay healing hands on the reviled and rejected like he did on his behalf. We who rage for righteousness in his insistent voice. We who love the sinner, even knowing that the sinner is no farther off than our own heartbeat. He will not be back to join us at the table, to share God's extravagant banquet, God's love feast. All are invited, come as you are. And so it is you and I who must feast for him, must say the grace and break the bread and pass it to the left, and dish up the broiled fish or pour the wine and pass it to the right, and treat each one so tenderly as though just this morning she or he made the personal effort to make it back from heaven or from hell, but certainly from death to be by our side. Because if by some miracle, and why not a miracle, he did come back, wouldn't he want to see us like this? Wouldn't it be a miracle to live just for one day so that if he did by some amazing feat come riding into town, he could take a look around and say, this is what I meant. And we could say, it took us a long time, but we finally figured it out. And let us live to make it so. You are the resurrection and the life. He laid himself in service to the poor and the ill, protected those most vulnerable, sought to right injustice, preached love, and then lived love. There was an urgency to his compassion, a knowledge that we waited too long to care for one another and that we must not wait a moment longer. He was crucified for attempting to do what many of us are still trying to do: end oppression in all forms, cleanse society of corruption and greed, and transform the world with love. UU minister and Christian Reverend Monica Dobbins tells us emphatically that Jesus did not sacrifice himself for our sins, and that's God with the small g thinking. He was executed for trying to redeem the sins of the whole world: imperialism, occupation, corruption, systemic racism. 3 days later, the story of his resurrection transformed the world. He revealed himself to those that loved him, to those that sought him out in death, and he offered the hope of a miracle. He offered a hope of a love so deeply abiding and so unconditional that death itself could not contain it. And today, on this Easter morning, our churches are filled with different theologies. Together in our UU faith, we are Buddhist, humanist, Jewish, Muslim, atheist, Christian, agnostic, and pagan. We worship together while praying to different gods and prophets, or while foregoing prayer altogether. In our congregations this Easter morning, we sit side by side in the pews, some of us believing in the literal story of the resurrection, and some of us believing the story of hope it holds, and some of us ambivalent to it all. Still we gather, and still we gather this Easter morning. And why? The core truth is, and some of us are more comfortable with this than others, is that we gather together this morning because we believe in the message of Christ that Christ brought thousands of years ago. We believe in creating a world community of peace, justice, and liberty for all. We believe in justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. We believe in the inherent worth and dignity of all people. We believe in a world transformed by love. And in that respect, each of us believes in the resurrection, though the details of how we manifest the belief differs. And as Reverend Victoria Weinstein said in our call to worship, let us live it, for we are the resurrection and we are the life. Blessings. Membership in the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden is not an obligation or a prerequisite for participation in our community. In fact, many of us are members of this community and have been for years, and attending services for a significant amount of years before officially signing the book, and some of us never will. Joining UUCO as a member is a gift from you to this congregation and from this congregation to you. It is the gift of our promise to not just be together in faith, but to share the responsibilities of creating a faithful community. It is a formal vow to show up for one another, to hold and lift each other, to lead, to follow, to dance. It is an affirmation to live our lives in covenant together, with our principles guiding our hearts and leading our lives. At UUCO, we do not weaponize membership. It is a gift honored for as long as it is right for you. It is not a cleansing of sin. We already see your inherent worth and dignity, and we already love the whole of you, the imperfect perfection you are. Not all in our community will choose membership, and that's okay too. Just as all couples may not choose marriage, our relationship with our faith and the congregation is unique, it is intimate, and it is our own. But for those of us that do choose membership, the decision to be... Well, hello. I'll just speak as loud as I can. The decision to become a member is an emotional and spiritual moment, a rite of passage signifying a transformative declaration of faith. How fitting, then, it is for us to welcome 4 new members on this morning of the ultimate transformation. To that end, I will be reading the new member covenant and asking you and the congregation to make this commitment. Really so I can see you. We gather together in covenant to creating a caring and inclusive community that encourages freedom in the quest for spiritual and intellectual growth and the advancement of social justice in this world. Sarah, John, Miriam, and Mara, will you own this covenant by, first, committing to your own integrity, fearlessly seeking the truth of your life, reflecting on your beliefs and actions, and taking responsibility for your spiritual growth? Will you commit to right relations, being accountable for your words and deeds and behavior, treating others with kindness and care, dignity and respect, seeking out understanding and wisdom in times of misunderstanding or conflict? Will you commit to the health of this congregation, giving of yourselves with service, energy, and worldly goods, and love to achieve the tasks we choose together, committing to give to your greatest capability and learn to discern your human limitations? Will you commit to a life of worship, honoring your sacred relationship to all that is in your own ways, and being faithful to our common worship, recognizing that there is a strength in coming together which we cannot find alone? And finally, will you commit to advancing social justice in our world, becoming a servant of the greater good through your support of creating more justice, compassion, and peace for all people and our precious planet that sustains all life, knowing our radical love is deeply needed in times of crisis, but also in times of calm, committing to faithful action? UUCO congregation, will you please rise with me? UUCO, that you may keep this covenant in faithfulness, do you, as the congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Ogden, commit to provide opportunities for truth-seeking, worship classes, book studies, and discussion groups?
Yes.
Will you commit to providing opportunities for building community, to participate in fellowship activities, social justice actions, and small groups?
Yes.
Do you commit to fair and just stewardship of resources, giving of time and money to serve the greater mission of this church?
Yes.
Do you commit to providing regular worship opportunities and growth in faith every Sunday and whenever we gather?
Yes.
Do you commit to providing ways and means for you and for our new members to find their particular path of service and faith, leadership opportunities, workshops, services, trainings, and togetherness?
Yes.
And thus we do covenant together. Stronger for